Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's Wednesday night. That can only mean one thing. It's the Salt Flat IROC Series back in action here tonight. It is going to be round number 11 here from the Kansas Speedway. And with it being round number 11, it means there is only tonight and next week from the Pocono International Raceway to decide who's going to win a championship. Talk about that a little bit later here in the evening. But tonight here in the booth, like always here on a Wednesday night, it is Muth up here on the booth, and I'm joined tonight by a special guy out here. Is Brandon Massey joining us here tonight to give us a little bit of insight of a driver's perspective on things. And Brandon, tonight these guys, 17 drivers, have been out there. It's going to be a whole drafting style track tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Roger. These cars stay pretty packed up. I've seen cars all over the racetrack here in practice from the top to the bottom. Just kind of wait and see how it all plays out, but it should be a very exciting race to watch for the fans tonight.
It certainly is going to be an exciting race here. But as the clock starts to tick down here towards the qualifying session here, Colton Farrell right now has the 62 on the top of the boards tonight. Right behind him is the 21 of Jeff Bergner. Michael Bromley, last week's surprise top 3 finisher. Cody Levitt is 4th. IROC Haas, last week's winner, is sitting there. P number 5 here on the timing and scoring. But as the clock ticks down, we're going to step away for just a quick moment. We'll be right back here from the Kansas Speedway here for the live qualifying for the IROC Series, round number 11.
Oh, say, can you see? So proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Kansas Motor Speedway. Qualifying is officially underway here as we see one of the drivers out there on track. It'll be the 62 of Colton Farrell. As of late, the 62 of Colton Farrell has ran into some problems. He is a one-race winner so far this season. He won the season opener from a track that is very similar to this. This, is a mile and a half, but he has won back at the Michigan International Speedway to open up Season 3 for the IROC Series. Tonight, though, he's going to be trying to find himself a good starting spot here tonight as he works into turns 3 and 4 for the first time. He is officially on the clock, so this will be the first lap for the driver of that 62 of Colton Farrell. Colton's going to come across the line. We will see where he will be marked down. It will obviously be towards the front because actually no other driver has turned a lap just yet. 2 times coming in right here at the top of the boards. It's going to be the 62 of Farrow. He goes P number 1, but he has quickly moved down the board to the second spot. IROC Haas in the all bucked up ABV 29 machine out here tonight. Last week's winner goes to the top of the boards with a 38.570. So he is the quick time for the time being. Darrell Clauder, also out of Florida, is able to put in the second quickest time for the time being. But there's a lot of drivers out here tonight that have yet to qualify here at Kansas. Talking about another one of those drivers who last week looked like they were going to have probably a career finish, and that's the 84 of Lynn McNeese, who right now is now officially in the third position, as he is the only NSRA Superspeedway driver here tonight in the IROC race at Kansas. As you saw the timing and scoring jump, you saw that 88 of Jamie Leach goes to the top of the boards, and the number 21 of Jeff Bergner out of Utah is officially now the second quickest driver. So Cole Haas, McNeese, Clauder, Farrow, all those guys who were at the top of the boards here when qualifying opened up have all moved down just a little bit. How about Michael Bromley, the draft top ABV driver in the 7? He is now officially the third fastest driver here tonight. Hunter Reynolds. This could be a storyline tonight. Hunter Reynolds in the championship hunt. Has not won a race so far this season, but finds himself sitting in the second position in points, only 22 points out of the championship hunt. And then the man who has the championship point standings lead right now of Randy Johnson has yet to turn a lap here just yet, but Hunter Reynolds goes actually up to second quickest on lap number 2, so that's a really good pickup for the driver of the number 14. It looks like here's another one of those championship contenders out on track. It'll be the 38 here of Cody Levitt out of Las Vegas. Cody comes into the night sitting third in the point standings. 24 points out. He had a huge jump up last week. He was able to leapfrog Greg O'Berry and go to the third position in the point standings. Greg O'Berry has moved back to fourth. Orlando Rivera is sitting there fifth in the point standings. Greg O'Berry, though, we talked about him. He's sitting fourth in the points. He will not have a good starting spot here tonight at Kansas. He will have to take the EOL. He will start shotgun to the field along with Danny Valenzuela and I believe the driver of the 01 of Josh Taylor. But Taylor right now doesn't look like he has made the trip here at the Kansas Speedway. Going to sit out a race, possibly also could be stemming from some of those tornadoes down there in Tennessee that we saw. So our hats go off and our prayers and our thoughts are to those families and victims down there in Tennessee that or were affected by that tornado. We do see that we have a driver out of Tennessee here tonight. Jason Dobbs is with us in that Nichols Performance 985. He is sitting currently 14th as Cole Day goes out there and takes the top spot tonight. Cole Day tied with the most wins on the season here with the IROC Series. He goes P number 1 with a 38.514. He will be your pole sitter here tonight.
Speaking of another one of those drivers out of the Tennessee area, we do have Ira Kohlhaas. He's not far from the Nashville area there, sitting in the P7 spot.
That is true. Always forget about Big Country being from the western side of Tennessee, last week's winner. So it's just about that time here to run through the starting lineup. Cole Day, we know, is going to take the draft top P number 1 starting spot, so congratulations to him. But before we even get to the starting lineup tonight, race fans, we got to thank everybody for tuning in here on the Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the Salt Flat IROC Series. And we got to thank all the sponsors that go into this. The Jordan Hen Racing Team out of the Northeast do a lot here with the Salt Flat IROC Series. 2T Lawn Care, the ones that takes care of the grass not only at the track, they can take care of your grass back home. Bromley Designs for being your official paint sponsor, your official painter here with the Salt Flat IROC Series. Taylor Motorsports being a premier sponsor this season here with the IROC Series. And how about Nichols Performance Race Engines? They always get these boys tuned up on a Wednesday night. How about Draft Top? Drink topless, my friends. And now it's time for the starting lineup here tonight. Round number 11, this is how we will roll off of pit road. It's the Draft Top starting lineup, and it's going to be two of the men that were teammates at one point. Now tonight, they're going to line up side by side on different teams. P number 1 tonight, rolling off in the first spot, will be the 37 of Cole Day. How about the Ohio Deeper Darker Dew driver? It's the 88 of Jamie Leach, rolling off in the second starting spot tonight. Starting third in the second row, it'll be the 14 of Hunter Reynolds, the rookie. The 21 out of Utah, it'll be the sprint car driver of Jeff Bergner. Row number 3, it's the Michael Bromley, the Bromley Designs, draft top number 7. And the man from Topton, Pennsylvania, it'll be the number 40 of Josiah Millen. Rolling off from row number 4, last week's winner, Western Tennessee, Big Country, all bucked up Cole Haas in the 29. Starting next to him, it'll be the Las Vegas Wonder of Cody Levitt. Row number 5, little Jeff Pogo tonight's going to be looking to notch himself a first-time win here with the IROC Series. He'll start row number 5 right alongside him. It will be the 84, the Moonshine Runner of Lynn McNeese. Row number 6, it's the man from Florida of Darrell Plauder. And the 31, orange hair fella from Topton, Pennsylvania, also another one of those Keystone Motorsports drivers. It'll be the 31 of Donald Bennett. Rolling off, row number 7, week 1's winner. It'll be the 62 of Colton Farrow. And it's the trash man of racing, Jason Dobbs, in the 985. Gotta wish a big happy birthday to his daughter there of Colby, celebrating her first birthday. What a sweet way it would be to park that 985 in Victory Lane here tonight. Row 8, though. 2 drivers that were teammates at one point, now no longer teammates here. It's the Nichols Performance. Number 12 of Randy Johnson and the 81 of Greg O'Berry. Starting final position here tonight in row number 9. It'll be the man from Utah. It'll be the 04 of Danny Ricky Valenzuela. And that's how we're going to line them up here tonight. It'll be 75 laps to decide who's going to be the winner. Brandon, I don't know about you, but I am all jacked up and ready to rock and roll here from Kansas as the iRacing pace car is down and away. Pace car officially off the racing surface, and the green flag is in the air here tonight. It's going to be 75 laps, 115 miles. We're green flag racing for round number 11 in the Salt Flat IROC Series, and everybody comes up through the gears. It looks like a pretty good start for everybody as they enter down into turn number 1 here. Cole Day gets a slight advantage with Hunter Reynolds pushing on the back bumper of that 37 machine. Jamie Leach tried to bring back that outside row with Jeff Bergner there, but it was not good enough by the time they came down into turn number 3. So out of turn number 4 for the first time here tonight, Reynolds is going to push Cole Day back across the line as they separate there almost 3 wide at the start-finish line. Here it'll be Cole Day leading lap number 1 here for the round 11 of the IROC Series here from Kansas. And so far, everybody looks to be minding their P's and Q's. You don't see anybody really door slamming as you see Bennett go from the outside lane down to the inside. Bennett right now in the 11th position. He'll be the 6th car to the inside lane of the orange machine, the Keystone Motorsports driver.
Hey, don't look now, but the 21 and 88 does have that outside line moving there, Roger, and they started making a little headway towards them front 2 cars.
Yeah, right now it is those 3 cars to the outside, though, as Millen's just tagging the back bumper there of the 21. That outside lane, we've seen it all season long. We've seen the outside lane be able to get up there and get side by side with the leader, and then it's almost like hitting a brick wall. And then these cars kind of just stall out, and you're not able to really go anywhere. Cole Day is doing exactly what he needs to, as Reynolds is all over the back bumper of him. Cole Day's just kind of riding down there on that bottom lane and not really being able to separate themselves, though, because Leach and Bergner are pulling that outside lane back. Just take a peek, though, who's sitting 3rd and 4th to that inside row, which is the blue machines, the ABV drivers. It's Michael Bromley, Ivor Kohlhaas. They have been working together here as of late at the end of the season, working as a team. And right now, they are just how they ended last week, nose to tail here on that inside lane. The 3rd and 4th car rolling that inside bottom groove. Also have 2 of those orange teammates now. Bennett has worked his way to being the 4th car to the outside lane. So 2 of your Keystone Motorsports drivers, nose to tail.
Yeah, Bergner and Leach is got that outside line moving. I'm anxious to see, though, once these tires wear down a little bit, just exactly how well that outside line maintains its momentum through the centers and the exits of these corners here.
Yeah, as they exit turn number 4, though, it will be once again leading his 4th lap here, the first 4. And that'll be the pole setter tonight, the 37 of Cole Day. But look at that outside lane. You said it a little bit ago. That outside lane is starting to roll. And as Donald Bennett rolled up to that outside lane, now it's started to go with 4 cars to the outside. And now they're going to be joined by another driver. That'll be the 38 of Cody Levitt up there. So they just continue to gather cars.
Bold move here, but I believe Jeff Pogo in the 24 just took Ira Kohlhaas in the 29 3 wide there, coming through the center of 3 and 4, headed to the start-finish line here, Roger.
Yeah, so that puts Country there in the middle between Pogo and Millen. That'll move the 29 of Kohlhaas back a row, and now will he go to the outside into turn 1, or will he take the bottom? He has an opening to go with Lynn McNeese to the bottom. Lynn McNeese is going to shove the 84 Red Machine down there, and that will force Kohlhaas to the outside. He'll be behind Millen, now sandwiched in between those Keystone Motorsports drivers.
Bergner just took Leach 3 wide on the backstretch here as well. We got a 3 wide battle for second here.
So a lot of these drivers early and often here going to the inside, trying to see where they can maneuver themselves. Levitt has a little bit of a blink to the back of this pack here. Right now, though, call it 12 drivers in your front pack here, all within 1 second of each other. It looks like we're at Daytona or Talladega as Leach now falls into that second position, though, on the outside row, so things are starting to really get shaken up here. Riding just behind the main pack. There you see that blue machine down to the back with the red Toyota logo on the nose. That's the 62 of Colton Farrow. Danny Valenzuela, Randy Johnson, Jason Dobbs, and Darrell Clauter. These guys are just kind of hanging out back here, trying to stay right there with the pack, but not close enough that they really get involved into something if something were to pop off and a couple guys get together. Right now, though, Valenzuela is to the outside of that 62 as they come across the stripe, so that's 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, all running about a second and a half right now behind your front group. Out front, though, it is still the 37 of Cole Day, the 21 of Jeff Bergner, Hunter Reynolds in the 14, and Jamie Leach in that purple 88 machine, all inside the top 4 right now.
As we do have a battle for the lead here, Bergner in the 21 does have a slight advantage headed into turn 3 there, I do believe.
Yeah, we said it earlier. It's one thing to get there. It's another thing to get around them and take the lead at the line. Who will it be? It is a dead heat as they come across the line. Give it to Cole Day. He'll lead his 8th lap here tonight. But this time into turn number 1, Jamie Leach giving a really good shove to the driver of the 21. Remember, race fans, just a couple weeks ago, that 21 of Jeff Bergner had a really quick car. Didn't come away with the finish he wanted as they all kind of got crazy on the last lap. But he came away with a solid moral victory, as it was one of the best races for the driver of the 21 all season, and also with a brand new rig was able to come out there and have a good showing. And tonight, once again at the front of the field, will he be able to lead lap number 9 here? Cole Day will beat him back to start finish line by the splitter of that IROC.
You know, Roger, that outside line seems to be formed a little bit better than the inside. You got the 4 cars on the outside working together, but they're still struggling just to be able to make that move past Cole Day and Reynolds there on the inside. They just can't seem to get it done.
Yeah, looking off the back deck lid here of the 21 of Bergner, you can tell that there's a huge gap down there to the inside. You see the 14 down to that inside groove there, and then Bromley, there's a whole about car length and a half between Bromley and Reynolds. So it's really only Reynolds pushing the 37 of Cole Day. You see a huge run by that outside lane going down into turn number 1. They really need to get organized down on the bottom, and then maybe you can see Pogo and Bromley, Reynolds and Day try and separate themselves from that outside groove. But if all those cars aren't tucked up underneath each other, kind of not really going anywhere. That outside lane, though, 3 drivers really pushing each other. Kohlhaas just kind of sitting back there. He is the 4th car in line. He's not going to be able to do too much as long as, or if Millen's not up underneath Leach. Kohlhaas really doesn't have any purpose to be up underneath Millen then either.
I got to think, though, Hunter Reynolds in that 14, just exactly how much pushing can he do? And just how much air is he allowing to get to the front of that car? If that water temp shoots up a little bit, being up in the front of this pack, that could be somewhat treacherous for the pack behind him here.
Yeah, early in the season when we had a lot of daytime races, we saw a couple guys kind of herd through the rumbling of the valley, that a couple guys were getting hot. But so far here in the later going, a lot of these races transitioning into the nighttime as they're 3 wide with Bromley to the inside, Millen in the middle, Kohlhaas to the outside. Kohlhaas going to lose the momentum, not be able to really rim ride here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. But we're going to see it is some pretty cool temperatures. 78 degrees here tonight at Kansas. We'll see if, that really comes into play with Reynolds being tucked up underneath Day. Since pretty much the drop of the green, we haven't seen those two really separate too much. Maybe just like right now going through the corner, Reynolds kind of diamonds it off, goes to the outside just a little bit, and then gets that good run and gives him a shot down the backstretch.
Looking 3 wide here again. The Kohlhaas on the outside, and I believe it's the 18 moving through the middle, or 81. rather, moving through the middle here.
Yeah, Greg O'Berry having to start at the rear of the field. Right now, he is the biggest mover. He is up to the 7th position here tonight, and he is looking for more new colors on that 7 machine tonight. The 81 was racing for the Nichols Performance Group, but something had gone awry with that, and now Greg O'Berry is running the part-time black scheme. He will finish out the season on his own, and then see what, plans really end up happening next year for the O'Berry machine. So right now, Greg O'Berry running now in the 7th position. He is the 4th car to the outside. He is up underneath Josiah Milton right now on that outside groove. So the outside train that is all linked together, it is Bergner, Leach, Millen, O'Berry, Kohlhaas, and Bennett. Inside runners right now, it is going to be Cole Day, who has led all but one lap. As last time by, it was actually Bergner sneaking by a fender to the lead. So the inside lane is Cole Day, Hunter Reynolds, Michael Bromley, Jeff Pogo. Then it's going to be the 84 of Lynn McNeese, and then just tailing this field, this little pack, will be the 38 of Cody Levitt. That's how your top 12 drivers are here. At the line, who will lead it this time? By Jeff Bergner has the nose ahead. Will he lead his second lap here tonight? He will officially be scored as the leader at the timing and scoring line. So Jeff Bergner leads lap 2 for himself tonight. So far, Cole Day has led 13. Jeff Bergner now leads 2. And we got 60 laps to go here tonight. 16-lap green flag run to start here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. And I'm estimating here, Brandon, it's probably about, I'm going to say we're probably about 10 to 12 laps away from green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we must have been thinking the same thing, too, because I was just thinking we're not far away from the window here for these guys to start making green flag stops. I want to see if during these stops, if this pack gets back together and how many goes at which time and how that affects the entrance to pit road and that whole bit. Could we see a caution? We'll just have to see how it plays out here in the next few laps, Roger.
Yeah, and a lot of teams out there, only 2-car tandems tonight, I believe. Nichols Performance, who had 3, are now down to 2. And I believe the NSRA guys, they have a 3-car team, but only one of them here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. So a lot of these guys, it's only going to come down to 2-car tandems. And, well, maybe there's some wheeling and dealing out there. We've seen it a couple times this season as they're going to come off turn 4 here side by side. They'll come back to the line, and it once again will be the Cole Day machine out front. But who do you wheel and deal with? Does the Keystone Motorsports Group go talk to, say, the ABV crew? You kind of work a deal here. 4 cars a lot of times are better than 2.
Yeah, I can tell you, if I was those ABV guys of, I believe it's Michael Bromley and Ira Kohlhaas, I would be trying to make a deal with O'Berry in that 81, because that dude is in a rocket, and he's looking to make moves. He's the biggest mover of the race, and he's wanting to go places, and I believe that I would be trying to work with that guy and at least put 3 cars together and see what could happen.
Yeah, right now they're going to put 3 cars, 3 wide with Jeff Pogo down to the inside, Greg O'Berry in the middle, and Kohlhaas to the outside of O'Berry. He's able to ride that wall up there, but it just doesn't seem like he's able to get around O'Berry. He can get there, he can get to the quarter panel, just not able to. Maybe if the 31 of Bennett goes up there and pushes that 29 machine, maybe they will be able to go up there. You see everybody wiggling down the backstretch. These cars are not exactly sturdy. Kohlhaas really going to ride the wall into the corner. He'll stay behind the 81 of Greg O'Berry there, but there's a lot of room between the outside lane to the inside lane. And this group back here a little bit farther back with Danny Valenzuela. They have now gone side by side. Valenzuela to the inside. Dobbs going to give him a little bit of a hip check there before the start-finish line. Dobbs goes up the track. Johnson's back there pushing him. And then you got Darrell Clauder also right there, along with that 62 of Farrow. So these guys right now sitting at about 2, almost 3 seconds back of the lead pack. Well, you can officially say it, Brandon. They have missed or have lost the draft here tonight.
Yeah, they have, but this could be by strategy, though, too. The one thing that we want to remember is the guys up in the front pack have been rather racy. And these guys back here, just minding their P's and Q's, they could be working out something strategy-wise for these green flag stops that we may get to see here within the next few laps, and it could play out in their favor.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of times this, we kind of call it pack racing here with the IROCs. 300 and about 75 horsepower. I think they are on a 7-inch little tire on these big tracks, these 1.5 mile, these 2-mile tracks. It really keeps these guys grouped up together. It's like watching Daytona or Talladega. And, you know, one thing happens at the front, just a little side draft going wrong, and not square bumper, because there is a point on the nose of these IROCs here tonight. You know, you get off center, you turn somebody, everybody gets collected. Yeah, it's a big track, but when it's pack racing and that inside lane wads them up, the outside lane goes with it, and so does the next 20 cars behind.
I can tell you, this is by far the funnest thing to watch and experience, and from a driver's standpoint, to be able to be involved in. And we've seen side-by-side action since the green flag, as we do have Pogo get a little loose off of the exit there. But this has been nonstop action from start to where we are now, Roger, and it's only going to get better as the race goes on here.
Yeah, now look at that outside lane. Looks like Jamie Leach goes up the track a little bit. He's going to have to catch it. Millen burps the throttle. Now Millen going to dive down to the bottom out of turn 4. He'll cut the nose on the 84 of Lynn McNeese. So a lot of slicing and dicing here on lap 22. Completing lap 23, though, and Cole Day will now lead officially his 20th lap. So only 2 lead changes here tonight at Kansas, and things have been side by side and are now starting to work our way to those green flag pit stops, possibly here in the next 5 to 7 laps. We'll have to see what everybody's strategy is. You know, just like watching NASCAR on Sundays when they head to Talladega or Daytona, if you're sitting back there where about the IROC Kohlhaas machine is on that outside lane, or the Lynn McNeese 84 machine, you're back there, you're saving fuel, you're lifting off the throttle a little.
I'm watching this 81, Roger, and this guy is wanting to go. He's making moves, he's going 3 wide, he's getting himself put in position. Here's what we need to remember, though. Being side by side with green flag stops coming, these guys are going to have to work their way towards the bottom here to be able to get to that pit road entry. As we see a little bit of contact with the 21 there on the outside wall.
Yeah, the 37 of Cole Day shot up the track, and Bergner got collected in that as they go 3 by 3 by 3 here into turn number 4. As they all do this, that backpack is starting to catch the field, but now Cole Day is up out of the groove. He's in the 3rd lane, and he's going to be headed backwards. Hunter Reynolds going to lead his first lap here tonight. He'll notch himself a bonus point as he is in that hunt for the Rookie of the Year and the championship in the single car group. So what better way than to go out here and lead a lap before the first green flag pit cycle?
O'Barry has found him someone to push, and they're headed to the front. Michael Bromley in the 7 and O'Barry in the 81 is coming, and they're coming quick here.
Yeah, as you see down into turn number 3, you see the 7 car get a good push from O'Barry, and it's going to push him to the front. But that outside lane not going to stay together. Millen going to push the 14. I believe green flag pit stops are going to start right here, and it's going to start with Cole Day in that 37 machine.
Yeah, Cole Day, Jamie Leach, Jeff Pogo, Cody Levitt, all on pit road here at the same time. You got to think this is by design with these 4 cars here, Roger. Let's see what happens with the remaining part of these pit stops.
Yeah, a couple other drivers, Danny Valenzuela, Colton Farrow, and Darrell Claude, all coming down pit road along with them here. So we'll see when the next group of cars, looks like that is 6 cars coming down pit road, 7 cars actually coming down pit road together. Now will it be Reynolds or Bromley, Millen or O'Barry who will duck off? It looks like here comes the 40 of Millen. Here comes Lynn McNeese, Jeff Berger, and Donald Bennett. So another 4 cars going to peel off this time. It'll be 4 tires and fuel all around. Everybody that came down pit road is still sitting there. Hunter Reynolds, though, will continue to lead. Looks like 6 drivers out there. It's Reynolds, Bromley, O'Barry, Kohlhaas, Dobbs, and Johnson all have yet to pit. They are going to go farther on fuel than anybody else. I believe this will probably be the farthest they can make it, maybe. And just kind of running the numbers and how flat-footed we have been here tonight. We're going to have to see if Bromley's going to be able to get down from the outside lane here. See if he's going to come down this time. Looks like all 4 of your leaders going to stay out.
Yeah, I didn't mean to talk over you there. Yeah, I was just watching that. I'm kind of shocked to see how far these guys are going here. I'm surprised. How much time are they going to lose, though, in comparison to fresh tires to old tires? That's something else that we're going to want to see and watch here as this pit cycle plays out here.
Yeah, right now they're coming around. It looks like Darrell Claude. They're going to put Claude and Farrow down 2 laps. Danny Valenzuela just getting out in front of the leader here as you see Reynolds and O'Barry and Bromley and Kohlhaas all go single file. Here they come down to pit road. Reynolds going to take a very soft approach here. Bromley going to go sideways. O'Barry's going to go right around him on the outside. We're going to come We're going to come humana, right? We're going to come down 2 by 2 onto pit road.
Yeah, here they come. And O'Berry leading that pack in with the teammates of Bromley and Cohos here. I tell you, they trapped the rest of the field a couple laps down. Let's see. It's going to be interesting on how this plays out here.
Yeah, and how things are playing out there on track. This is the group of cars. Millen gonna jump in here with Cole Day and Cody Levitt and Jeff Pogo, as Bergner's also right there, and so is Jamie Leach. Remember, Millen and Bergner were off sequence from these guys, and they all kind of came out running together. They are officially back onto the lead lap, and they are now starting to charge back through the field. We will see where they kind of wind up. Right now, they're sitting 5th on back here, as Reynolds, Bromley, Kohlhaas, and O'Berry are all down pit road right now. We'll see where everybody starts to cycle through. And just wait for just a couple moments and whatnot, because Reynolds still down pit road. There he is down on pit road. They've been there for 1:10 currently. Here they all come off pit road. Greg O'Berry will lead the charge off pit road, but where is the rest of the field? There they go on by. Those were the first drivers down pit road, and those are the first 6 that will now take over here after the green flag pit cycle. It'll be Day, Millen, Levitt, Bergner, Pogo, and Leach. Your top 6, and they got a huge lead over the rest of the field. 7th position after the green flag pit cycle will be the 84 of Lynn McNeese. And how about Danny Valenzuela? Comes onto pit road running in the 15th position. Now he's running in 8th spot. Greg O'Berry going to lose a ton of position. He's back to the 9th spot there, the first car in the black machine. Hunter Reynolds goes from inside the top 5 back to 10th. Colton Farrow is 11th. Michael Bromley is 12th. Randy Johnson is 13th. Ira Kohlhaas sitting back here. He has lost the draft. He is running in the 14th spot. Jason Dobbs is back there in 15th. Clauder is 16th. And Bennett, with a speeding penalty, he is running in the 17th spot.
Yeah, this is not a very good position for last week's winner at Dover, Ira Kohlhaas, to be in right now. I think those cars could have
somebody spinning on
caution.
track. Looks like the 7 of Michael Bromley has gone around. So after the first green flag pit stops here, just 2 laps back into the stint, Michael Bromley is going to spin the 7 machine around. So that will be the first yellow here of the night. Going to fly with 45 laps to go. Let's take the replay and see exactly what happened to the driver of the 7. He was back there running with one of those Nichols Performance drivers, and I believe that's Colton Farrow, Greg O'Berry, and Hunter Reynolds. What happens to the Bromley machine? Bromley goes high. Oh, the car just snaps loose on the 7 of Bromley. He's going to go around all by himself, and he spins it down to the grass. And normally it might not throw a caution flag, but with Ira Kohlhaas fastly approaching onto that spinning 7 car, the yellow flag will fly here tonight for the first time at the Kansas Speedway. So now, approaching that halfway point, I expect everybody to be down pit road.
Yeah, that there was a lifesaver for Ira Kohlhaas in that 29 machine. He had lost the draft there, and with that caution coming out, we're going to repack this field up. We're still, I think, though, we're still gonna have to make probably one more stop under green if it goes that way before the end of this race, but definitely a much-needed caution for Ira and some of those guys towards the back of the pack had lost the draft there.
Yeah, Donald Bennett, remember, had that pit road penalty. He was in dire need of something happening as the race off pit road. 2 drivers stay out. It'll be Cole Day, Cody Levitt, Jeff Pogo, Jamie Leach, Lynn McNeese, Dobbs, Johnson, and then Colton Farrow out of pit road. Josiah Millen going to lose a ton of time coming down here. Danny Valenzuela, and then Jeff Bergner coming out. Looks like Bergner is 13th. Then it's going to be Kohlhaas, then Bromley, Clauder, and Bennett rounds out the 17 cars. 2 drivers, though, staying out here under this yellow. It'll be the driver of the 81, Greg O'Berry, who is just down pit road, and then the 14 of Hunter Reynolds. They were buried back in the field with their green flag pit strategy, so they're going to take advantage of this one and stay out here and gain some of that position back. So as they come back across the stripe, everybody will start to get formed back up here. We'll see if the iRacing pace car lights do go out. They do. So we're going to re-rack them, restack them 2 by 2. Let's have a complete restart. Everybody's still here tonight on the track and on the lead lap. So here's the change of events. Remember, the 37 of Cold Day started on the pole here tonight with Hunter Reynolds pushing him. Well, now Reynolds and Day will not be together. It's going to be 2 new contestants on the front row. It'll be Greg O'Berry leading us back to green with Hunter Reynolds there in the green machine to the outside. Then it'll be Day to the inside. Levitt, then Leach, then Pogo. How about Dobbs and Johnson here tonight? They were way back, and they were probably looking like they were out of it, and now they're running already inside the top 10, running in the 7th and the 8th position, so big moves for them here with this yellow flag coming out.
Yeah, Roger. In 9th is Colton Farrow, Josiah Millen in 10th, Lynn McNeese in 11th, Michael Bromley 12th, Daryl Caldler in 13th, Donald Bennett 14th, Danny Valenzuela 15th, Jeff Bergner, and Ira Kohlhaas rounding out the field here as we're getting ready to go back green.
Green flag in the air as the iRacing Porsche is down on the pit road. Greg O'Berry not going to waste any time. He's going to go straight for the gold, and green flag officially back in the air here. So it's O'Berry and Day down to the inside, and it looks like O'Berry will clear the entire field by turn 1, and then it's going to be Hunter Reynolds getting stuck to the outside as they're going to put 3 purple cars down to the inside there. Levitt and Pogo and Leach now goes single file behind Cole Day. And a lot of these guys already, we don't see an outside lane out there. It looks like Reynolds is kind of stuck to the island out there by himself.
Yeah, I thought maybe Levitt would have stayed in behind Reynolds and maybe tried to have gotten a run down the backstretch there on that restart to make a shot at O'Berry, but he had jumped on the inside there with Pogo and Leach and kind of left it alone there. Cole Day's looking to the outside here.
Yeah, he thought about going to the outside in turn 1 and then elected to go right back down to it. He gives O'Berry a shot. O'Berry gets a little bit squirrely with that 81 machine. He was able to gather it up, and we stay pointed in the right direction here. So it looks like 6 cars down to the inside. Johnson has now been able to tag the rear of this little freight train, so he will be the caboose running in the 7th position. Reynolds still to the outside. Right behind them, it's Jason Dobbs, Josiah Millen side by side. Colton Farrow's right there, and then Michael Bromley put 4 fresh tires on that 7 machine after going for a little bit of a ride down there in turn number 4. Pretty impressed, though, with the 14 of Reynolds. He is stuck to that outside by himself, and he has actually been able to hold strong there, running in the 3rd position currently. As that back group we just talked about, Dobbs and Millen and Farrow and Bromley, they have actually started to run down this group of cars that are running side by side. They are punching a huge hole in the air here tonight and allowing them to suck right back up to the pack. So it looks like we're going to have possibly 7, and actually we might as well call it the whole field. They're all within 2.5 seconds here of the leader as we come across the line to complete lap 36 here tonight. It'll be the 81 here leading his 7th lap of Greg O'Berry.
Yeah, he's in a rocket ship tonight. He's, I believe, the biggest mover of the race. But I'm going to tell you, though, Cole Day in that 37 there is wanting to control this race, and he's looking for an opportunity on that to make a move on the inside there on Greg O'Berry. I've seen him give him a couple of little love taps there. I kind of see how it works out, but as he is looking on the inside here.
Yeah, he thinks about going 3 wide. He has the nose there. Will Greg O'Berry allow the 37 to get there? He will not. At the line of the B. O'Berry, and down into turn 1 they go. Hunter Reynolds is going to be there. O'Berry's going to open up the door just a little bit. He's going to leave it open for Cole Day. Cole Day has the momentum. Can he get off turn 2? O'Berry's going to slam the door once again out of turn 2 and make Cole Day push him down this long backstretch here tonight. Look at the Reynolds machine all by himself. There, when we went back green flag racing, it looked like Reynolds was going to drop like a rock towards the back, and he has been able to hold strong to the outside, and he has now worked himself up to the 2nd position, as here comes Cole Day once again. He's going to look to the inside here on the tri-oval. Not going to quite get there, so he will once again have to settle for the 2nd running spot to the inside lane. Reynolds going to sail her back off into turn number 1 on the outside.
I'm rather impressed with Hunter Reynolds in that 14 machine. by himself has been able to stay right there with, as Cole Day does have a bumper, a little bit of contact there, Roger, it looked like, with O'Barry and Day there.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, but seasoned veterans here with the IROC series. O'Barry and Day holding strong with the two black machines down to the inside. They are not teammates. They are just black cars indicating part-time points runners. No team affiliates with either of those drivers. Right now, controlling that inside groove. They are trying to show the rookie of Hunter Reynolds to the outside how they do it with the IROCs. We are just over the halfway point here tonight. 39 laps in the books. Cole Day still has led the most laps here, 23. Greg O'Barry has led 10. Hunter Reynolds has led 4. Jeff Bergner has led 2 laps here tonight. This time by, we will see 35 laps to go, and the entire field within 1.5 seconds here from the first position all the way back to the 17th spot, which is right now currently Darrell Clauter as they come back here. And they will go across the start finish line. Bromley in the 7, getting a little bit out of shape in front of the 29 of Kohlhaas there. Something I think may not be right currently with the 7's handling.
Hunter Reynolds still on that outside, has had no help, and he still is able to maintain side-by-side battle with Greg O'Barry and Cole Day in that front pack there.
Yeah, and Jamie Leach has gone to the outside right in front of the 40 of Millen, but neither of them drivers seem like they've been really able to really start to pull back in that 14 to the outside. We'll see if they're going to be able to in a couple laps. Maybe it just takes a couple laps to really get these motors wound up, as now it looks like Reynolds is actually starting to fade off that top side. Cole Day and Greg O'Barry are officially clear of the 14 of Reynolds to the outside, and now Cody Levitt, there's a little gap between Levitt and Day as they enter turn 3, maybe about a car length in between there. Levitt was up the track just a little bit there. Reynolds had to run a little bit higher line, but I don't think it's going to hurt Reynolds at all. If anything, it's going to allow Reynolds to get a really good run down this front stretch. And once again, Greg O'Barry going to lead another one here at Kansas.
Roger, this pack of cars has formed itself back up here. I believe all of them, all 17 of them are together. You can just pretty much throw a big old blanket right over top of them all here.
Yeah, Leach kind of wiggled there, though, on the outside lane. Millen actually was nice enough to lift, and so was Colton Farrow. They lifted out of the throttle to allow the 88 of Jamie Leach to catch his car. Kind of gave up a little bit of momentum, but I guess it's better to live to see another lap than it is to wad him up here just over the halfway point. So with 32 laps to go, what do you say, race fans? Let's turn it up a little bit here from the Kansas Speedway. Wow, how about that, race fans? Look at all that jockeying for position out there on track as we stepped away for just a moment. The racing is furious. They are 3 wide, a little bit farther back in the field. Jamie Leach is way out to the outside. Cole Day is to the outside. Colton Farrell trying to shoot the gap between Levitt and Day. That's the battle just inside the top 10. And Brandon, as we stepped away, we saw some crazy moves being made out there on track.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal racing right here. One thing I want to touch on, it was the bold move by the 14 of Hunter Reynolds to get himself to the bottom. But oh, by the way, here comes the 40 of Josiah Millen, Michael Bromley in the 7, and IROC Kohlhaas in the 29, who were a 10th, 11th, 12th area about 2.5 laps ago, now find themselves inside the top 10 and battling for the lead here.
Yeah, they find themselves inside the top 5 pretty much. Right now, Cole Haas is in the 6th position as they come across the timing and scoring. Bromley has scored P number 4. But wasn't it just about, well, call it 16 laps ago, wasn't the 7 the one that brought the caution out? Now, with the way the pack racing is here in the IROC Series, finds himself with another life, another chance to try and really go out there and get something. Jeff Pogo down off the racing surface. He will give up his track position. He's going to drop to the back. It looks like some strategy here. You see a lot of those purple cars now, Brandon, backing up to the back of the field, possibly getting inside the window where they could come down pit road.
Yeah, I'm looking for these guys to back up here and short pit. That's going to be the thing to watch here. If you're watching at home and seeing what's going on, the strategy for me would be to short pit. They're within the window. They can make it from here, I do believe. I would short pit. I would put 4, 5, 6 of us together, single filed out, and try to run away with it. We've seen in the last pit stops under green, though, Roger, they gained a ton of track position. Cole Day, Jeff Pogo, Jamie Leach, all who pitted first, gained a ton of track position, and there they come to pit road right now.
So here they come. Levitt's going to go sideways. He's going to get hit by his teammate entering pit road. A mistake by the 38 of Cody Levitt. May just put a damper. Was he speeding? We'll have to see what the iRacing officials say here. So 4 cars down pit road. Day, Pogo, Leach, and Levitt, who was sideways and now has lost a ton of position. We'll see if he can gather it all back. Out on track, still racing hard. It'll be the O'Berry machine and Reynolds to the inside. Millen is outside. He's got Bromley and Cole Haas along with him. So now, who will be the next set of drivers to duck off? Will they kind of leave? Here comes Reynolds. Here comes O'Berry.
There they come to pit road. Roger, listen, the perfect plan just went completely astray with the 2 cars on pit road. Leach, I want to say, and Jeff Pogo completely, I think, destroyed that pit strategy as O'Berry and Hunter Reynolds has made their way down pit road here.
So it looks like now 6 drivers down onto pit road. We will see where everybody starts to funnel out at. It looks like all 4 of those drivers that came in together are back out there. Cody Levitt, who was, sideways coming into pit road, he actually is going to win the battle out of those 4 cars out onto the track, and he's going to be out there by almost a second on Cole Day. Where the heck did that man get his pit crew? Last night I was in a recruitment race with the driver of that 38, and I don't know who he hired from last night to tonight, because that boy last night was having some terrible pit stops. Tonight, that crew is getting it done.
Open mouth, insert foot there. I cannot believe what we just saw. Those 4 cars need to get packed up, though. They got to get packed up, and they're going to have to make up track position, and now's the time to do it, as we do have a new leader out front, 7 of Michael Bromley and his teammate, Ira Kohlhaas, in the 29, following right behind.
Here comes Millen down pit road. He's going to be sideways, and so is Bennett. So 2 of the Keystone Motorsports drivers are going to bring him down pit road. So it's going to leave the ABV crew out there against the Nichols Performance. Right now, just 4 drivers still need to pit here, and then everybody officially will have enough fuel and enough tires here to race it to the end here from the Kansas Speedway. Down, and I believe off pit road. Well, we're waiting to talk about that in just a moment. We'll see where everything really shuffles the bag up through here.
Yeah, it looks like the 7 and 29 is all going to stay out here as they're coming around towards the entry of pit road, and they are going to stay out. I believe these 4 cars pitted earlier together. One thing to watch, though, with this group, Ira Kohlhaas did not have the best of pit stop and had kind of lost the draft in that first round of green flag stops that we've seen. This is going to be the money stop, and this is where you're going to make or break yourself. That's something to keep an eye on with these drivers as well as we cycle through these pit stops.
Yeah, and I just noticed the 04 Danny Valenzuela looks like being penalized. He is still down on pit road. Hunter Reynolds also. Heartbreaker for the 14 of Reynolds. Problems on that machine. He is scored currently in the 16th position, and he is back down pit road for the second time here under this green flag circumstances. And looks like these drivers here for the top 4 positions will go 3 wide, and they will stay once again out on track. Randy Johnson, I believe, going to lead that lap. Yep, Randy Johnson here tonight in the 12, going to lead a lap. He will get himself a bonus point here from Kansas tonight.
Yeah, Randy Johnson, Michael Bromley, Ira Kohlhaas, Jason Dobbs. Listen, I don't know exactly how much track position these guys are losing to Cody Levitt, Cole Day, Jeff Pogo, that group that came in before these guys. But if it's anything like we've seen in the first round of green flag stops, they lost a ton of track position. That's something we're going to want to keep an eye on here, because this could very well shake out to be a battle between Levitt, Day, Pogo, Leach, Millen, those guys who came in several laps ago. I want to say 4 or 5 laps ago now. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, see how much track position these 4 cars lose here.
Yeah, because right now they are formed up. Those drivers that all came down together, Day, Pogo, Leach, and Levitt, they're all nose to tail running 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Millen just a little bit farther back. I wonder if he still has enough left in that 40 car, if he can get back there and draft with those drivers. Right now, they are your closest drivers on track to each other. Currently shown 1 lap down to the Randy Johnson and Jason Dobbs show. 18 to go this time by, but your top 4 still need to pit here tonight from Kansas.
You know, one thing that these front 4 may be doing too is they may be putting all their eggs into the basket of a potential caution here. If they do, only one of these guys that's a lap down is going to get a waiver round for a lucky dog, I do believe. And if that's the case, 5 cars is going to be battling for the win here late. If that's how this plays out, we're still in the green and they're still on the racetrack, and those those early pit stops that happened there with Cole Day Pogo, they're all bumper to bumper, and they're hitting the yellow line or white line there coming through the tri-oval around that flat area there at the start-finish line as well too. So I've noticed they've shortened up the racetrack just a little bit as well.
Yeah, they've all gone single file and now working lap 27 for themselves. So next time by, to be the longest we've seen anybody go on fuel. Everybody's still single file positions for that 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th position. 9th now as Millen has caught that group of 4. So currently still waiting on the Nichols Performance and the ABV crew. I guess at this point, I mean, you got to be working together if you're the only 4 that have yet to pit. This time by, will we see the 12 down to pit road? We will not. Their top 4 gonna stay out. They are gonna stretch it. They're gonna risk it for the biscuit here tonight.
Also, too, tire strategy in this. Maybe these guys just come in and take enough fuel. Maybe they only take 2 tires. I mean, they're gonna have to go. We're looking at 16 laps here, so they're not gonna have to take a full tank of fuel. They're going to actually be able to short pit and be a little bit less on their pit stop time here, which could play a factor as well. The strategy is crazy right now, Roger. I'm not sure even where to be. Here they come to pit road now.
So these 4 drivers are going to shoot down pit road, led by Johnson, Dobbs, Kohlhaas, and then Bromley. So they will all officially get down to pit road speed. No speeders I see right now. It looks like everybody was down to the 55 miles an hour on the pit road, so that's going to be now. See how long they sit down there. The shortest pit stop I saw in this last round of pit stops was Cody Levitt with a 27.4 second stop, but you know, that's 4 seconds faster than anybody else that came into that group there, you know, between Day, Pogo, Leach, and Levitt, even Millen. Well, so I'm wondering, since they shuffled Levitt back to that 4th car in line, maybe not getting enough fuel. Maybe the team tried to call an audible there when he got sideways onto pit road. Take less fuel, get back out there with the group. Maybe that's what Levitt's doing, and that's, you know, now he's trying to save fuel here with this time by to be 14 laps to go.
Hey, pit strategy worked to perfection. I really thought when Leach and Pogo had made contact on the entry of pit road there, or Levitt, I really thought, though, that pit strategy was going to be completely blown out the window, and yet I was wrong. These guys is formed up. They've got 5 cars in the draft as we see Bromley and Kohlhaas and them exiting pit road now.
Yeah, I'm watching Dobbs right now. Dobbs is going to come out as the leader. He makes his stop, and he is gone. And he is gone by, well, call it about a second almost over Randy Johnson, who's running right there in the second position. You're looking off the deck lid here of your leader, of Jason Dobbs tonight. Looking back at all the other Easter eggs, all the other Skittles on track. This time by, it'll be 14 laps to go here, and Dobbs and Johnson going to execute perfect pit strategy here in the closing laps here at Kansas.
But did they take enough fuel? That's going to be the thing. Those were really, really quick pit stops. Did they get enough fuel, racing fuel in those machines to be able to make it from here on out? Now that they're getting hooked back up and they're going to be able to draft together, those 5 cars behind them will catch them.
Yeah, and look how much of a wiggle wobble both of those Nichols Performance drivers were. They were down on the apron there for a moment as they come across the line with 13 to go. Dobbs and Johnson lead currently. Cole Day, Jeff Pogo, Jamie Leach, Cody Levitt, and Josiah Millen. They are all within 1.5 seconds of the leaders. So it could come down to the strategy here by this deeper, darker dew group back here. All the purple machines, the Cole Day part-time runner, and even Josiah Millen. I wonder if they're all working together, because once they came out from those green flag pit stops, other than shuffling Levitt back to that 4th spot, they have not stepped out of line once. It could be team orders. Stay in line. We got still a lot of laps to log here as they get 12 to go. They will run down that front group of Dobbs and Johnson. They just got to stay hooked up the way they are. And a couple of these drivers up here are in the championship hunt. Johnson came into the night with a 22-point lead over the 14 of Reynolds. Reynolds right now having a terrible night after that debacle down there on green flag pit stops. He's shown in the 15th position, currently 2 laps down. But Cody Levitt is in that championship hunt. He was 24 points out coming into the night. Greg O'Berry, he's got a little bit of problems here. He had a fast car, but the green flag pit stops put him way behind into the 13th spot, and he was only 35 points out. So 2 contenders in the top 4 championship hunt still up here inside the top 6 with a possible chance to win tonight.
Roger, I've been watching Jeff Bergner, Ira Kohlhaas, Colton Farrow, Donald Bennett. I've been watching this pack in the back here. They're going to have to get single file. They're out almost 2 seconds of Josiah and Cody and Jamie and Pogo and Cole. They're out almost 2 seconds off of that lead pack, and they're running side by side. They're going to have to get single file here if they're going to try to make a run here in the next 10 laps with these guys in front of them.
Yeah, they got 5 cars, only 4 of them on the lead lap as the 14 machine. The green machine of Hunter Reynolds is in that battle also. Not currently on the lead lap, but still able to try and push somebody. They are sitting 4 seconds behind the leader. Currently is Jason Dobbs. And looking at it, it doesn't look like Cole Day, Jeff Pogo, or Jamie Leach has been able to really claw into that Dobbs and Johnson freight train out front. Pogo all over the back bumper there of Day. They separate, they wiggle, they wobble. They are not locked together. This time by will be 9 laps? Yeah, 9 laps to go here tonight.
I tell you, these 2 cars of Jason Dobbs and Randy Johnson perfected exactly what they needed to do. They got on pit road, they got just enough fuel, which is yet to be determined, but I want to assume that they got enough fuel. And now they're out here and they're switching positions, going to let the Randy Johnson machine get a little fresh air here. So he might have gotten a little bit of a water temp issue, and now they're going to single back in here. And hey, Cole Day and them guys has not been able to make any ground on these 2 at all.
Yeah, and that could have been a championship ploy there. Remember, Johnson, your point standings leader. Jason Dobbs really doesn't have much to gain if he would go and win this race. Next week, it will come down to Randy Johnson if he can hold on to this position, if he's able to win a championship. He's a rookie this year at the Salt Flat IROC Series, coming in, joining the Nichols Performance Group, never racing these cars on this style of track, with the pack racing. And so far this year, he has been one of the better drivers out there on track. He won a couple weeks ago from the Iowa Speedway, and, He's only finished outside the top 10 2 times this season. He's had 7 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and this time by, he'll see 6 laps to go. And now that pack behind them, they have gone double file. Cole Day and Jamie Leach lead this pack side by side. You got Levitt pushing Leach, and you got Pogo pushing Cole Day. Josiah Millen still sitting there in the wind, and I am looking on the timing and scoring. It looks like that back group there of Ira Kohlhaas and Jeff Bergner has actually started to pull in that second group right in front of them.
They have, and unless we see a caution, those 2 cars of Randy Johnson, Jason Dobbs did exactly what they needed. But yeah, I was gonna mention Cole Day and those they went out, and maybe they're thinking 2 cars is faster than 5 here, and maybe they're gonna try to make a run here within the last 5 or 6 laps to see if they can maybe run those 2 cars down up front. But
yeah, laps are winding down here though. This time by, it'll be 5 to go. And just taking a quick look at the timing and scoring as they come across another one of our scoring loops here tonight at Kansas. And I am seeing still Cole Day sitting at about a little over a second and a half, 1.7 seconds back this time as they come out of turn number 4. Now currently, here comes the flagman, 5 fingers in the air here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. Round 11, only 5 more laps to get it done, and it's the Nichols Performance Group singing a song, screaming those Nichols Performance motors out here tonight at Kansas, leading the way. 5 laps to go, this time by that pack that's just behind them, though. Took about a half second out of that lead. Here comes Cole Day and Jamie Leach, but here comes that pack also with Jeff Bergner. If this pack gets formed up with the pack in front of it, they could have a head of steam here in the closing laps.
they could, and this lead is shrinking, and the 2 packs behind the lead cars, they are gaining on each other. Maybe with the break in the wind between cars running side by side, just gives them a little bit of extra draft and movement within these cars here to be able to put a little bit bigger hole within the wind and make these cars a little bit faster, being able to run side by side.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Dobbs is trying too hard to really get around that Randy Johnson machine. This time by, it'll be 3 laps to go, and it's just over a second gap now. Cole Day is 1.1 seconds back there. This time by, 3 laps to go, so it's a second. God, just over a second to the 3rd place machine. And then it's under a second, actually, from Millen back to Bergner now, so that gap is shrinking pretty fast. They were at 1.2 seconds back behind the 7th place machine, and actually sitting about 5 seconds back from your leaders of Randy Johnson and Jason Dobbs as you see them all down the backstretch there.
Yeah, Roger, as we near 2 laps to go, I want to see what Jason Dobbs does here. I want to see if he steps out and makes a move on Randy Johnson, or if he just plays the, I'm going to be the nice guy and I'm going to be the best teammate ever, and just continue to try to push his teammate to the win here, as that lead is still shrinking on those 2 cars.
Yeah, it's at a second flat now this time by, as there was popsicle sticks in the air. Only 2 laps to go here as that group gets sideways. The 37 of Day was sideways down to the inside, and so was the 88 of Jamie Leach to the outside. That's going to break the momentum, and that might just seal the deal here tonight for the Nichols Performance guys. Out on turn number 4. White flag going to be in the air here tonight from Kansas. One more time around. 1.5 more miles of racing. Randy Johnson sees the white flag. Can he come back around here and lead his 15th lap? Dobbs is going to go to the inside. What a night it would be for Dobbs if he was going to be able to win tonight. It would be something special. It's his daughter's first birthday, and now Dobbs is going to go to the lead as they exit turn number 2. And look at the battle back there for the 3rd position. Day going to go high. Here comes the Deeper Darker Dew machines. Cody Levitt going to go around him. I think Day might be out of gas. Cole Day's going to run out of gas, but out of turn 4, they have enough gas in the tank. It's the Nichols Performance duo going 1-2 here tonight. Dobbs going to win it on his daughter's birthday. Johnson going to come across the line in 2nd. Jeff Pogo finishes in the 3rd position tonight. Jamie Leach is 4th. Cody Levitt's going to round out the top 5. Josiah Millen in 6th. Jeff Bergner is 7th. Colton Farrow in the 8th spot. Ira Kohlhaas is 9th, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 31 of Donald Bennett.
Yeah, Cole Day in the 11th position. Michael Bromley 12th. Greg O'Berry 13th. Darrell Caldler 14th. Hunter Reynolds 15th. Danny Valenzuela 16th. And Lee and Lynn McNeese rounding out your field in the 17th position.
Yes, only one yellow flag here tonight, and it comes down to fuel strategy and a green flag pit stops. And Dobbs is going to get it done with the 985 here tonight. Revving it up. He's going to do a little celebrating on the front stretch for his daughter. Happy birthday to Colby, and Dobbs going to put that Nichols Performance car into a little bit of a slide. He will celebrate here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. We're going to step away for a moment, and we'll be back here to talk to a couple of your top drivers tonight in the Salt Flat IROC Series. Round number 11 officially in the books here, and Dobbs going to park her in victory lane. Welcome back here to the post-race show here from the Kansas Speedway race fans. 75 laps going to be in the books, and it came down to that fuel strategy by the Nichols Performance Group outdueling the Deeper Darker Dew team. And we have caught up in victory lane here with the driver out of Tennessee. Dobbs, it's been an adventurous week here for you in the Nichols Performance Group here to get to the Kansas Speedway. You know, severe storms ripping through the state of Tennessee, and we hope not only you, but your whole family is doing pretty well. But I got to think you're doing pretty well here tonight at Victory Lane.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, big thoughts and prayers go out to the families that lost their lives in the tornado. My cell phone's going off. My whole big crew here that watches me every Wednesday night's texting me. But that all goes to Randy right there. Randy Johnson is the man. I love him. I've known him since I was like 14. I love that guy. Go Vols.
Yeah, go Vols. You know, maybe loving Randy Johnson something we're talking about a little bit later, Dobbs. We know that love connection. But hey, tell us about this race here tonight. It was not an easy one for you or Randy Johnson, both of you starting towards the rear of the field tonight. Before that green flag pit stop, the first one we had, you guys were well off the pace, and it looked like it was going to be over from that point if we went green flag all the way.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It was over. But, you know, me and Randy, we've PM'd each other all week long, and our main goal was to come out here and have fun. And you got two guys with pure talent, especially like Randy Johnson. It's he can dial up some stuff. And the guy should be a crew chief like Chad Canals because he makes a good one. And, you know, I just drove it. And the first pits, I screwed it up myself. That was a driver error. And the last one there, I knew I had to nail it right there, and I did, and picked up a victory. I'm ecstatic right here.
Yeah, it is a big night. It's not just a win for you here on the Salt Flat IROC Series. There's something a little bit special today, ain't there not?
Absolutely.
Well, what is it, my friend?
Sorry, I take another swig of Gatorade here. I'm sweating. It's Colby's first birthday, so that's exciting. And Connor's in here. She just walked in. You probably heard her. But Connor, can you say "Go, Daddy"? Say it real loud.
Go, Daddy.
There we go. It's a special day. Happy birthday to Colby. Love her. Thank all you guys for what you did a year ago, supporting me and everything. It was awesome. I appreciate it all. You guys are great. Great league. Love it. Go Vols.
Well, there you hear it from your winner here tonight from Kansas. Doesn't lead the most laps. Matter of fact, only leads lucky 7 here tonight. But, Dobbs, before we walk away, it is your time here in the sunlight, or, well, I guess under the lights here at Kansas. We'll roll the red carpet out for you, my friend. Here's the microphone. Who do you got to thank for parking this Nichols Performance 985 in Victory Lane?
All right. Well, I'm going to add on to your time because I got a bunch of people to thank real quick. First of all, I got to thank my sponsor, Tony Nichols. Been a good friend of mine for as long as I can remember. He gave me opportunity to let me put his name out there. Also want to thank Randy Johnson for his help, and without him, I would have never got where I'm at, so it's awesome. And I want to also say Greg O'Berry also, who stuck with us till right here at the end, but big shout out to him also because he's helped me improve as a driver. My wife, Kelly, because she lets me do this each and every Wednesday. My 3 girls, my mom, my best friend Justin, Ben, Derek, they're all watching out there. My cousin Chris is watching tonight, so there was a bunch of people watching. I appreciate it all. It's been fun. And only one more race to go. Let's see if we can win another one.
Well, there you heard it from Dobbs, thanking the entire nation. Pop. I don't even know what he just all thanked, but he gave a shout out to absolutely everybody and their brother that they know too. So congratulations to Dobbs winning his first race of the season here in the Salt Flat IROC Series. Comes in round number 11 right here from the Kansas Speedway. Congratulations to him and the whole Nichols Performance group. But that's not the only Nichols Performance driver we have. Brandon, you have caught up with the man who's going to finish second here tonight in the 12 machine.
We have, Roger, and with me is Randy Johnson in the 12 machine. Randy, let's talk a little bit about that pit strategy to get you and your teammate Jason Dobbs out front here and ultimately be able to go on and finish 1 and 2 in this race.
Yeah, that was something we talked about for even before this race started. I was running it backwards, kind of like when I did the same strategy with Buddy a few weeks ago. And just figure out when we're going to do that last stop, and we ran it, are we going to pit as soon as the pit window opens? And then once everyone started pitting, as the pit window opened, and a couple of guys stayed out with us, and it seemed like the pack draft was really just a little bit quicker than 2 or 3 cars. I feel like that helped with the little bit of lead that we had when we came in. But man, the whole 5 laps before we even pit, my brain was on fire trying to do the math to get the right to a 10th of a gallon, and it almost messed up. Like, that's why I had to switch with Dobbs for a little bit. I felt bad. He might have ran out if he had to lead all the laps there at the end. But it worked out. I was amazed we came out with a 1-second lead, and I figured I'd just push the hell out of him for about 5 laps and see what we could do. And luckily, we built the gap so that we could save him some gas. And the rest is history.
Yes, sir. And listen, that was a strategy that was performed, perfected. I mean, it was just from my view and watching, and my first time in the booth here with Roger, it was absolutely awesome to see. I want to talk a little bit about what it means to see your teammate get that win. Ben, that his daughter there has a birthday and headed into championship weekend, what this means for you.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely huge for Dobbs, and no doubt about it. There's no way I could have won this race without him. Like, we had that first green flag pit, and he was a little too conservative an entry, and I didn't beat him up over it. I was like, listen, just learning experience. We're gonna have another shot at this, and talked him up to that last pit, and boy did he clutch it, because I needed him. Like, we each needed each other to do a perfect entry there in order to come out together and have a shot at it. If one comes out too far ahead of the other, it's a moot strategy at that point. But for me, yeah, great point night again. Going into the championship week, I don't know what the points look like, but there's a pretty good chance I won't even be at the next race just because I have a procedure being done. I'm going to be under the laser, so most likely we'll have to miss that last week. So just try to have as much fun as I could treating it as my last race here this season, so we'll see what happens.
Man, it was absolutely a ton of fun to be able to watch you guys put on the show that you guys did tonight. We wish you the best in your procedure that's going to be taking place there. We'll roll out the red carpet for you, man. Anybody you want to thank for that second place finish?
Yeah, I got to thank Tony Nichols, just like Dobb said. That man, man of his word, great guy. From just the short season I've known him. Same thing, Barry, running with him, how much he taught me. We may have gone back and forth a few times, but we definitely hit really good. Like this fuel strategy really came from learning from him throughout the season. And you guys running this great broadcast and this league, and I'll see if I can stop in next week. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be in the car, but I'll at least be trying to root for Dobbs here.
Absolutely. Well, sir, I appreciate you. Thank you for speaking with me, man. It was definitely a lot of fun. And Roger, we'll send it back over to you to interview Jeff Pogo, who came home third tonight.
Yeah, I got with me here the driver out of the Deeper Darker Dew stable. It's been an up and down year for you, Jeff, but tonight you really hopped on the pogo stick and you ran up front most of the night. Had a little bit of issues on that pit cycle, but is there anything you guys could have done as a team to go run down those Nichols Performance drivers?
Yeah, obviously not that little mistake that we did on pit road, but other than that, if we would have went 2x2, I think earlier than what we did, I think we probably could have ran them down. We started catching the draft right at the end, but it was too late.
Yeah, just a little too late. Tell us about the racing that was out there on track, though. It seemed like a really strong race, only one yellow flag, and everybody was side by side for, I'm going to say, at least a good 90% of this 75-lap race.
Yeah, it was a good race. One of the better ones, I think, for sure. Not only because of the lack of cautions, but everyone was tight, holding their lines, and people weren't dooring each other and bouncing off each other. Seemed to be pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good with you also joining this Deeper Darker Dew team here in season number 3 for the Salt Flat IROC series. It's been a lackluster year for you behind the wheel. I've seen you out there on a lot of different series running on the iRacing platform and championships to your name. That's what really got you here into the IROC series. This year, though, only one top 5, and that comes here tonight as you finish third, and only 3 top 10s. What more could you have done this season going into next week at Pocono?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. A lot of weeks I ran good. I just got caught up in stupid stuff, whether it be at the front of the pack, the back of the pack. A lot of it, I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Caught me up. I should have finished a lot stronger than that. I don't win a lot of races in the other leagues that I'm in, but I'm usually consistent. It's kind of lacked so far this year here, but we're learning. Cody and Jamie taking me on in this Deeper Darker Dew team seem to be high hopes, I guess. I feel like I've let them down a little this season, but we're going to keep on going, see what we can do next week at Pocono.
Yeah, tell us about that Pocono. It's not a track that we see a lot of times that, quote-unquote, the IROC or the Street Stock Series runs. It's a 2.6-mile track, and there's a lot of room out there, especially on the front stretch.
There is. I got a feeling you're going to see a bunch of guys 3, 4, 5 wide on the front stretch trying to make a move. Then I think it's going to bottleneck up into one. But that tunnel turn's tricky for a lot of people. I know in a Cup car and Xfinity car at least. We'll see how they do in these.
Yeah, we'll have to find out next week. Well, Jeff, I'd say we roll the red carpet out with you being so small and short to the ground, you might trip over it. So we'll just hand you the microphone and pick you up here. Who do you got to thank for parking this Deeper Darker Dew car here tonight on the podium in third position?
First off, got to thank my wife for giving me the time to do this. Secondly, my team, Cody and Jamie, for letting me join them. And then you up in the booth.
Well, there you heard it from little Jeff Pogo tonight. Comes home with the best finish of the season for that 24 car. Comes home P number 3. But tonight it was all about the driver here tonight in the 985. Dobbs going to win on his daughter's birthday, so that's got to be a great feeling for him. Randy Johnson, though, is going to come home second. And, Brandon, this is where the big thing is. Randy Johnson, you heard him say it, not going to race the championship race because he's going to have, I believe I heard through the grapevine out there on Twitter, that it's going to be a LASIK for surgery done on his eyes, so he won't be able to get behind his sim rig and come out here and battle for it. The good news is, though, he's going to go into championship week with a 41-point race, or, well, just a 41-point lead over Cody Levitt.
That is huge news. If you're Cody Levitt right now, you got to think that he might know a little bit about that, but having a 41-point lead going into a championship weekend, Pocono is going to be a show. I'm excited to see how it plays out, and it's going to be a good race. Just like Pogo said, that tunnel turn can be a little bit treacherous. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, 3 corners from the 2.6-mile oval in northern Pennsylvania. Gonna be the home for the championship race once again. It'll be the 4th season that the Salt Flat Series runs their championship race at Pocono. It always puts on a heck of a race sometimes, you know. You have a run and you don't know what to do with it. It happens at Pocono. In long straightaways, lots of runs. But, you know, we talk about Johnson and Levitt being 1 and 2 in the championship. You also got to think, though, sitting there in the 3rd position is Hunter Reynolds. Hunter came into the night 2nd in points, only 22 or 23 points out. Now he's back to 43 points out. There's still a chance with the way that the points shake out. Johnson obviously going to get a big old goose egg next week, you know, if he doesn't turn any laps at the Pocono Raceway. So, you know, realistically, Reynolds isn't out of this just yet. He's going to finish 15th tonight. That's really going to hurt, but still has a chance. But, I mean, you also got to look back into the 4th position. Greg O'Berry, not running for a team championship now, but still has the hopes of, you know, getting a good finish in the standings altogether. He's going to go into championship week with a 54-point deficit between him and Johnson, but only sitting 11 points back from Reynolds. So he could actually, if something goes wrong with Levitt and Reynolds at Pocono, he could wind up finishing 2nd in the standings.
Yeah, this whole championship race is going to be absolutely amazing to watch next week when we get to Pocono. Hunter Reynolds, after tonight, that pit stop error that he had made there under green, really put him behind the 8 ball here and ended up, I'm going to say, 2 laps down in the 15th position. Dug himself a little bit of a hole. It's not out of reach just yet. He can make something happen. But like you said, you know, headed into Pocono, those runs, those long straightaways, anything can happen at any given time, and we can have a major shakeup in the standings headed into, or at least during the championship weekend at Pocono.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen next Wednesday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for your Salt Flat IROC Series. That's going to about do it here from the Kansas Speedway. Well, Brandon, we got to thank you for jumping up in the booth here tonight for the IROC race from Kansas. It was a good one. Thanks for all the help you did. But race fans, that's not it for the Salt Flat IROC Series. Like I said, next Wednesday night on the 11th, 8:55 Eastern Time. The IROC Series will be back in action. Championship week from the Pocono Raceway. The Tricky Triangle. We will crown a season champion. Tune in next Wednesday night to find out who's going to win Season 3 champion here with the IROC Series.